Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and welcome to the last and final video in Framework Tutoring. If you've been listening to this course and you're on this video, then I'm assuming that it's been a long 5 weeks of studying and hard work. And your test should probably be coming up soon, or you're preparing for a test in a couple of days. Um, so first off, I want to say congratulations on all your hard work. And luckily, most of the stuff that you have left isn't going to be as busy as you think. So let's get started. All right, so quick table of contents. We're going to go over the week before, the day of, right before the exam, and final thoughts. All right, so the week before, I think something that most students do during this time is they'll cram for the test before. And I've been guilty of this too. When you're taking a test at school and you just haven't studied for it, sometimes you'll spend a couple of hours doing your work so that you can be ready for that test the next day. But you can't make the same mistake with the SAT because it's a 3 hour long test that involves a lot of different subjects. So if you're tired and you're trying to just, I guess, overload yourself with information by cramming, honestly, you're not going to remember all of it. And instead, you're going to waste valuable time that you could be using sleeping so you're the most focused you can be the next day. So definitely don't cram the week before the exam. In fact, I'd actually recommend that you reduce your workload, like it says on the slide. Do just around 1 to 2 passages each day. So maybe do a reading passage and then a math passage on one day, and then a grammar passage and then a math passage on another day. Just keep your workload very simple so that it takes at most like 30 minutes to an hour to study for your SAT. It's important that you still do consistent work, but it should be a lot more relaxed. You shouldn't be spending hours every single day going over the SAT. Because if you overload your brain right before the exam, you won't actually be able to remember everything. Because psychologically, your brain convinces yourself that you remember things just when you hear it once, but in reality, you actually don't. So it's just good to get your brain warmed up instead of just wasting your time going through a bunch of strategies. And the last and most important thing is you need to get sleep and get sleep early. It takes your brain a multiple days to recover from bad sleep because your brain establishes something called a circadian rhythm. You probably heard of it, but it's like your brain basically has this natural time clock that it relies on to recover yourself, both physically and mentally. So if you get bad sleep and you only sleep like 4 hours in one day, you can't just get it back by sleeping a lot the next day. You need to recover that rhythm. So it's important that you set your sleep schedule correctly a week before the exam. Because if you wake up and you don't have enough sleep, then it can significantly reduce your focus during the exam and as you're taking it. All right, so the day of, make sure you wake up on time. You need to have ample time to get to your location after you get your sleep. I recommend you get to your location at least 30 minutes before your exam starts. Now, obviously, that's dependent on where you're taking the test, what time your test is, what month it is, any activities you have. But I recommend getting there at least 30 minutes before so that you have a little bit of wiggle room just in case something happens. So, for example, when I went to take my SAT, I went around 30 minutes before into the testing room. I had to get a couple of ID stuff sorted out, and that took around like 10-15 minutes. So, if I came to my exam late, there's a chance I could have missed that. So, it's much better to be early than to be late for an SAT. All right. Um, the night before an exam, make sure you prepare everything you need. That means you should pack your bags. You should not be scrambling in the morning. So, what should you pack in your bags? Well, these are just things that I recommend and things that a lot of people recommend to me. But overall, the biggest thing is on test day, you need to be in the most comfortable mindset that you can be. The SAT is just as much a mental test than it is an academic test. If you're nervous and you feel like you can't answer the questions, then that is going to be reflected in your score. So you need to feel the most comfortable. So do what you need to do to feel comfortable. So what I did was I wore really comfortable clothes for test day. Going to the SAT is not the time to show off your fashion sense. Just wear whatever you need to feel comfortable, and your clothes should not be like a single one of your worries during the test. Next, I brought a water bottle because it's good to drink water during a 3 hour test, especially to recover your energy, and get some snacks because it depends on your proctor, but most proctors let you have your snacks and some water during break times. And that's a good way to fuel up your brain and keep it running during the test. Another one, bring a jacket that you can easily take off and take on because you don't know what environment you're going to be tested in. It can be really cold, it can be hot. If you just wear one sweater, you might be sweating the entire test, but if you wear a tank top, then you might be freezing the entire test. And stuff like that can really affect how you focus during the exam. So bring a jacket that you can easily take on and off during the test. Also, obviously, bring your testing supplies, your calculator, and your College Board information so they can get in and register really smoothly. Also, something that I recommend is the morning of answer just a couple of questions, and by a couple I mean like really just a couple, like maybe like 5 to 10 at max. Answer a reading passage question, a grammar question, and a math question just to get your brain running. Because if you start off your first SAT question of the day as the actual SAT exam, then your brain hasn't had a chance to warm up and be as ready as it can be. So I just recommend answering a couple of questions. All right, right before the exam, do whatever you need to do to get in the right mindset. Have a routine to give you a sense of security. This is something that I learned in speech and also in sports, and that I implement into a lot of my, I guess, more nerve-wracking tasks. There's a reason a lot of professional sports players have this pre-game routine where they want to go through like this I guess, specific practice or tradition that they do every single time they take a test. And that mentally just brings you in the right mindset because it's like that one consistent thing which shows that this isn't different from anything else you've done. Maybe you want to develop your own routine before an SAT. It obviously depends on you and what you want, but just have something that you can rely on. Drink water and go to the restroom before your test because most proctors will let you go to the restroom during your test, but you need every second that you can get because even with all the strategies in this test, the SAT can still be pretty short on time. So going to the restroom or going to get some water during the test could cost you minutes, which could really impact your score. Also, just one more thing. Even after you get the test handed out to you, you'll have around 30 minutes before the actual test starts because you have to fill out information for College Board. During this time, I would recommend you focus on getting grounded, getting ready for the test, take deep breaths, do whatever you need to do to get into the right mindset. And make sure you have all your supplies in place. Make sure you have a pencil, an eraser, a calculator if you need it, so that once your proctor says you can go, you can immediately jump into the exam. And also, like, during that 30-minute buffer, I mean, take off your jacket if you need to, put it on if it's too cold, just get a sense of the environment you're in so that you're comfortable once the test begins. All right, so now I'm just gonna offer some final thoughts. First off, I just want to congratulate all of you for going through this entire course. As someone who's taken online courses before and done work online, I know just how hard it can be to stick onto a schedule and stay disciplined enough to watch videos that you really don't have a teacher holding you accountable for. I mean, I'm not emailing every single one of you and controlling your grades. These are just videos that I've posted that I hope can help you get a better score. And if you stuck with me, I really want to thank you so much for it. Something that helped me during the test was to think of your test like just one of your practice exams. Because honestly, if you've done all the practice, it should be the exact same. The practice tests that are involved in this course were made exactly to replicate the SAT that you're taking. So you won't see any questions or any strategies or any different things that you shouldn't expect. The most important thing I want you to remember from this entire course is don't let your score impact how you view yourself. I think the entire test prepping process can be so intimidating. Like with all these college courses and lesson plans that cost thousands of dollars, with your parents maybe even nagging at you for that good score, it can be really tough to separate yourself from this score. But seriously, this test has nothing to do with your intelligence or your self-worth whatsoever. It's an arbitrary measurement that College Board uses to get a sense of certain skills, but it really has nothing to do with how amazing of a person you are. So no matter what score you get, if you tried your best and you believe you put in your effort, you should be proud of the score that you get. And I want you to know that I am very proud of you because I know it's tough to take these tests and do all these things. So I seriously commend you so much. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all of these videos, all of these 5 weeks. I really just can't express how grateful I am that people are willing to watch these videos. And I guess benefit from my teaching, because for a long time I didn't really know how to channel my teaching to be extremely beneficial. But regardless, seriously, good luck on the SAT. You're gonna kill it. If you have any questions, just make sure and feel free to contact me. And thank you so much.